Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, July 24th. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some good relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their moves. Those are our ideal candidates, all on the long side. And as always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we have 6 names to look at in today's video. We have 3 from IBD's lists, we have 3 from our watch list, and we're going to kick things off here with the number 1, which is RP. This comes from IBD's list, and what we can see here is that it has recently consolidated for the past 2 weeks, nice and tight, working off mostly sideways the strong early run-up it had in July. It's starting to move again today, and if we zoom out a little bit further, we can see that this stock has basically been in a range here since 2018, topping out around $66, and it is getting back up to the upper end of that range. So we're looking at a potential kind of breakout and continuation from really this shorter term pattern, but then also this longer term pattern if it can start to break out to these new highs above the 2019 pivot and then potentially the 2018 all-time high level. So depending on how close you want to manage it, what you like to use for triggers, this is something to pay attention to. It's coiled, it's been moving sideways, it's a growth name, and it's back under its all-time highs. So RP, take a look at that one. And as I forgot to mention at the beginning of this video, we are in the middle of earnings season, so please double check all of the earnings dates. If you like any of the setups here, if you're thinking about trading any of these names, do your own due diligence, of course, and then just double check those earnings dates. You don't want to put something on and then find out it reports the next morning. That's very, could be a very unpleasant surprise, could be a great surprise, but surprises aren't usually what we like as traders. So TTD, this is number 2. This is, again, from IBD's list, a little more of a notable name here. This tends to kind of trade around and get promoted a lot or kind of shared a lot on social, but TTD is back up to its highs. You can see it's been just in this monster uptrend since it IPO'd in 2016. It's just essentially, base sideways, broke out, base sideways, broke out. And again, you're kind of in that basing sideways phase once again, and we're looking for that possible breakout. So TTD may not be ready just yet. We get a little bit of a reversal, kind of a day one move here today, possibly. We're going to need to see follow through and then ultimately a break above 255. But again, this one has been acting as a real strong leader over the past many years. No reason to believe at this point that that has changed. So we're going to look to see if this starts to break out. We want to pay attention to it. Last but not least, from IBD's list is ULTA. This is ULTA. A little bit of a slower pace name here, but this one tried to break out last week above 350, 360 to new all-time highs, but you can see it did get rejected, came back down into this range here this week, and this to me still looks pretty actionable. If you look at a weekly chart here, you can see this base that's been moving sideways. MACD has been cooling off just a little bit. It's had a nice run over many years, in fact, but certainly has cooled off over the course of the second half, or really, after April of this year. It's been basically moving sideways. So what we're looking for, again, is just that second push back over 360. You can see this latest pullback came on pretty low volume here. So we're going to watch 360 for that potential breakout and see if this one can continue. Now, next 3 names come from our watch list. Number 1 here is ZTO. This one here, if we zoom out just a little bit here, industrial play, hasn't reclaimed or broke out back to new all-time highs yet. Throughout 2019, it is up nicely on the year, but you can see it does have this resistance around around $20. Really cut and dry. It topped out exactly at $20 here in April. It rolled over. We're back up to $20 and now consolidating sideways. So we're going to need to see if this can make the move up here. I like the consolidation. I like the move coming today. A couple of days on higher volume recently. So we're going to pay attention to this one for a move over 20. Next up, HROW, a little more of an under the radar name. This one here, micro cap name that definitely can move. So this one has some volatility, some juice really behind it. So you got to be careful, you know, be cognizant of your position size if you're trading a smaller biotech name like this. But you can see this one here has had a pretty explosive kind of two-legged move here in May. Went from about $4.30 all the way up to $6. And then just to put that into perspective, you know, it's a 50% move in, you know, 2 weeks or a week and a half's time. And then it just went from the bottom here in June up into, throughout the course of June, it went up 70% again in about 6 or 7 in about 3 weeks time, 2.5 weeks time. So very volatile, but you can see it's now just moving sideways here, kind of consolidating mostly through time. Again, a trigger over $8, a breakout above this consolidation could set the next leg higher. So HROW, not for the faint of heart, but something to pay attention to. Last but not least is VHC. This one here, I really like this one quite a bit. You can see if we zoom out, this one did get beat up quite a bit after its IPO. It really didn't trend to the upside. It kind of did the opposite. It trended lower, and then it just really stabilized over the past 4 years at this point. Since 2015, it's gone nothing but move sideways here. It looks like it's potentially been under accumulation. It's back up above, or at the top end of this range. It's back above $5. It's trading around $7, and you can see it did have this longer period up here where it went sideways under about 670, 680. It tried to break out. It pulled back a little bit, and then it looks to be stabilizing here. Take a look at the volume pattern that's come in recently on this name. Nice uptick in buy volume on these up days. So VHC, again, this one's going to be a little more volatile as well, so do keep that in mind. Microcap name in the software tech space, but something that looks pretty interesting here from our watch list. So that is it. That is what I have for this week's trade ideas. Hopefully you find something interesting in there. 6 names, all based on strong technicals. Have a great rest of your day. Remember, you can subscribe on our YouTube channel, follow us on the Trade Risk, and we'll see you in the next video update.